Daily Bread. Station.
Hello and welcome to the news at noon on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM Abuja. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure. The headlines this are: Nigerian army releases children suspected of having Boko Haram ties. PDP and 38 parties to endorse unity candidates for 2019 elections. On the fine scene, cave rescue, final push underway in Thailand. And in sports, FIFA reduces number of officials for final phase of World Cup starting today. Details in a moment. Please do stay with us. And now the news in full. The Nigerian army has handed over 183 children linked with armed groups in the northeast to the United Nations Children and Education Fund for rehabilitation. Chief Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Burtai said the handover was in line with the international laws for the protection of children in conflict. The spokesman of Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Rogers Nicholas, had explained that some of them were used as fighters and suicide bombers by the insurgents. He said the children would undergo comprehensive psychological support and rehabilitation program to facilitate their integration into the society. The children aged between 7 and 18 were released on Monday in Maiduguri, Borno State, after being detained and investigated for links with the jihadists. President Muhammadu Buhari has been charged to really fish out and punish those politicians whom he said are behind the killings across the country. Those who spoke to us believe this is necessary to curb the spirit of violence and also serve as deterrent to other people. The president, while in Borno State last weekend, said disgruntled politicians who have lost out were sponsoring violence in order to get relevance.
Sometimes once you make allegations, you also need to substantiate. Our president is the president and commander-in-chief. Under him, he controls the army and other security agencies. He has the authority to fish out who these politicians are, where and how they perpetuate these killings. Mere statements cannot solve the problem. I think the president and his aides owe Nigerians the duty to use the security agencies to fish out who these politicians that are sponsoring violence across the country are. whether they are of ABGA, PDP, COA party, SDP, ADC, or whichever party, or even if they are part of his own party, the ruling All Progressive Party. But just making mere allegation without bringing evidence and without giving go ahead to security agencies to fish out who these politicians are, I think it still remains questions than answers.
If you know that it's politicians, thank God we have given you the power, the mandate. Why don't you fetch them out? We are tired of you giving us excuses that politicians. Find them out. That's why all the security apparatus are in your command. So keep them to us. Name those politicians. This is getting too much. It's getting out of hand. It should not be partial. Put sentiment apart and then do what is needful.
Many other reasons have also been given by the Buhari-led administration as responsible for the perennial violence in most parts of the country. Plateau State House of Assembly Special Committee on Security has called on security agencies to cooperate with it to find lasting solutions to killings in parts of the state. The chairman of the committee, Yusuf Gadi, made the call on Monday when he led members of the committee on a courtesy visit to the police command in Jos. The Assembly in June constituted a 7-man special committee to unravel the remote and immediate causes of recent killings in the state. Gadi said the visit to the various security heads was to seek synergy, support and cooperation in nipping in the bud the killings in the state. He said that the collaboration would also avail the committee some privileged security information that would aid its assignment. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, and 38 other opposition political parties, including the Reformed All Progressive Congress, have signed a deal to operate as a coalition to present a common candidate for 2019 presidential election. Leaders of the parties gathered in Abuja on Monday to sign a memorandum of understanding to that effect. Speaking on the reason for the action, former National Secretary of the PDP Caretaker Committee, Senator Ben Obi, said the political parties resolved to reverse all the abnormalities in governance brought about by the APC in next year's elections. The political alliance come under the aegis of Coalition of Unity Political Parties, CUPP. The group, who have resolved to commence work on a blueprint manifesto, said the alignment is expected to result in a government of national unity. And with the 2019 election fast approaching, Nigerians have been advised to vote for people with credible records, irrespective of their party affiliations. These, the people say, will enable the election of the right persons into leadership positions in the coming electoral year.
People vote based on what they can get or based on religious sentiment, ethnic sentiment, and political affiliation. Look at French president, for instance, Macron. As young as he is, the French people saw through his campaign that he was ideological based and they casted their votes for him. This should be able to happen in a country like Nigeria that other smaller African countries are looking onto. If you look at our political setup today, people only attach sentiment to say, oh no, I'm a member of PDP, I must vote for PDP, I'm a member of APC, I must vote for APC. It shouldn't be that. We should go by integrity, credibility, and past conduct and contributions of such individuals.
This country now, party really matters, because if I am to vote for any party, I must know their manifesto, I must know their plan and program. If their plan and program is not in line with the democracy, that party is not the one we should vote for. Like the one that is on now, this present political party, they don't have plan. They are just doing whatever they like, and that's why you can't see anything visible that they are doing, because there is no policy, no plan. They are just acting based on their own IQ, and it doesn't work that way. So we need a party that has a plan that goes with democracy, a party that has a plan that goes with development in our economy, a party that has a plan that can give people free education, a party with a very salient agenda. That's the party that we should vote for, not because of the person in quote.
It is high time, especially the voters, for us to choose integrity and let prudency be than just sentiments. Because if you look at our political setup now, we are being sentimental with all issues. It shouldn't be. We should follow issues. It shouldn't be. We should follow suit how US was able to produce young and dynamic leaders like Barack Obama and now France. If you attach political sentiment and differences, it doesn't move a country forward.
As the spending of recovered looted funds begins, Nigerians have called on the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to focus more on creating the right environment for Nigerian youths to be economically self-dependent. This, the people say, will reduce the problem of high rate of unemployment in the country.
When I was in school, I was told that engineering is a very good course because the environment is too bad, everything is expensive. You can't produce anything in Nigeria and say, okay, you are going to bring anything from outside and have the same costs. The only thing there is that the environment is not good for the youth. Where would they start from? Is it the financial aspect of it? Is it the infrastructure side of it? Even when they look at all this environment, they get discouraged. So you see them dropping out, even when they have all it takes to come up with the ideas. Nigeria have ideas, frankly speaking, but we don't have environment, we don't have a supporting system. Nothing at all is working. As a matter of fact, everybody is on his own.
When you are talking about creating job for yourself, there are some factors that you have to take into consideration. So most especially power is very important. You can't just be buying petrol, buying diesel, because what you are going to incur as your running cost will be much more higher. And unfortunately, it is the final consumer that suffer the whole thing. People are available, so it will touch a lot of things like that. People that learn one trade or the other, people to partners on their own. It will go a long way to assist government to solve the unemployment issue.
Government in this country, they simply ignore things that are important that will enable the development of the youth. If there is any employment opportunity, they bring their children in there, and those who don't have fathers who are in authority hardly get to their positions, and the environment is not even enabling for one to even say, let me go and run my business. You want to do farming now, this subsidy that was on fertilizer has already been removed. If they want the youth to get self-employed, they should create that enabling environment for the youth.
They should open up environment, even at local government level, communicate to the public in that local area and make sure you are ready to support them financially. Stop bringing collateral or I know somebody. If they can be able to be sincere, it will be okay.
The senior special advisor to the president on social investment, Ismail Ahmad, had earlier told a correspondent the government is trying hard to tackle the unemployment challenges in the country.
The government is doing all it can on the issue of unemployment. N-Power and so many other things that we are doing under the National Social Investment Program is just one aspect of so many other things that government is doing in other aspects as well. The NDE, I'm aware that there's a huge drive by the National Directorate of Employment to drive up employment of young people. And I know there's also a huge drive by the Ministry of Trade and Investment and CBN and so many other different departments of government where they are shoring up opportunities for young people. But you know, ultimately, any government that seeks to employ people directly will fail ultimately. Government's primary job is to create conducive environments so that people could thrive on their own, so that entrepreneurs could be grown from within that society. So that is the ultimate goal of government. But for now, because of the harsh reality of unemployment, government is doing all it can to make sure that it subsidizes the issue and the harsh reality of this unemployment, as we are well aware that it's a serious problem across the country.
Reports say one person has lost his life while 21 others are missing when a boat carrying 30 passengers capsized in the Bafarawa River in Isa local government area of Sokoto State. The incident occurred when the passengers were heading to Isa town. The local divers are said to have recovered the corpse, rescued 8 persons and are currently searching for the remaining 21 persons. The Director General, Sokoto State Emergency Management Agency, Ibrahim Dingadi, confirmed the incident in Sokoto on Monday. He cautioned residents of the area against using small boats in view of the heavy rains. A court in Niger has sentenced 17 members of the violent Islamist movement Boko Haram to jail. A senior state prosecutor said that of 42 suspects on trial, 14 got between 2 and 7 years in prison, and 21 others were released at the end of a 6-day trial in the southeastern Difa region of Niamey. The men heard for trial included Niger nationals and Malians as well as Nigerians accused of criminal association connected with a terrorist enterprise. Some were captured while fighting and others during security checks. Since December 2016, 200 Niger nationals are said to have left Boko Haram and turned themselves into authorities in Difa. We now take a short break. We'll be right back. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. And on the foreign scene, 19 divers have entered the Tham Luang cave in northern Thailand and what has been described as a grueling, hazardous mission to rescue those people still trapped inside. They extracted a 9th boy today, the Thai Navy said, with unconfirmed reports of a 10th. If that is confirmed, then 2 children and an adult remain to be rescued, bringing to a close an epic operation marred by one diver's death. 8 boys rescued earlier are said to be in good mental and physical health. The group, a football team, had got stuck deep inside on 23rd of June after heavy rains caused flooding. After they were found by divers last week, the race began to get them out before the weather deteriorated even further. And in sports, FIFA referees committees has reduced the number of match officials earlier slated for the final phase of the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Pierre-Luigi Collina, the chairman of the committee, told reporters in Moscow that 12 referees, 26 assistant referees and 10 video assistant referees have now been selected for the final phase. The semi-final matches will see France take on Belgium today in St. Petersburg, while Croatia will face England on Wednesday in Moscow. The third place match is slated for Saturday in St. Petersburg, while the final match is billed for Sunday in Moscow. And that's the news for this hour. Thank you for listening. My name is Oikeke Igado Kure.